Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman. Hey guys, how are you doing? Okay, I'm gonna continue on my last episode, and I'm kind of just wondering. I keep running into men who, in some ways, are bigots, and part of me is just like, where are the non-bigoted men? Where are the men who are gonna understand? It's like I'm not saying they have to date me, but at least understand that I am nowhere near perfect. I have a disability. And if you hang out with me, I might be walking with my walker or cruising with my scooter. That's how that's how my life has been. And I was about to say that's how I was made, but when I was born, it's like I dragged my feet, I walked different, I walked really odd, and the doctors blamed me. And yeah, that leads to a lot of my depression because I was raised to hate myself, literally. It's like when your mother keeps telling me no one is ever going to want me, no wonder my friends don't want to come over, no wonder I can't have a true friend. It's like, or if I trip over my feet, that she was going to beat the mess out of me until I walked right, or she was going to push me down the stairs. Yeah. Good times. Yeah, great holiday memories. Right? Right. But I guess one reason why I am the way I am is because since I had to go through that all through my life, and now to find out I wasn't lying, because I was to the point where I was like, okay, I must be so stupid that I am forcing myself to walk differently. I must want attention. I must be lazy. I was literally telling myself this stuff. And then with men, my mom, my parents, you have to date a Christian man. You have to date a man that's from the church. But then a lot of the men who are from the church, they didn't want a smart woman, and they would, like, sometimes if I would want to talk about the documentary that I just watched or the anime. Oh, you watch all those cartoons, that's so stupid, you're so immature. Oh, it's like you're just supposed to know what God has to say. What does the scripture say about anime? I don't know. What does the Bible say about anime? You watch football. What does the Bible say about football? And so it's like, and that's one reason why it's like, I mean, I am a Christian, but I'm a lukewarm. I'm not looking for Luke, I'm looking for lukewarm. Because some of the experience that I've had trying to obey my parents and date a man from the church. And I finally realized, no, that was because I was trying to obey them. I wasn't trying to be happy, I was trying to obey. Because everything in my life, they told me I was a failure and I was nothing and I wasn't worth anything. So I was at least trying to bring home somebody that they're like, oh, okay, at least she can find someone decent. But then once you call me stupid so many times, once you say that you wish I wasn't born so many times, once you say that the only reason that you're glad you got me is because you got my twin sister, and that's like all I'm gonna do is be someone's mate, and that I'm worth, like, the amount of times my mom said I was worthless. The number of times she said she was gonna kick me out because I wanted to write and publish my books. The amount of times she forced me to watch a documentary about real estate agents being eliminated on the job, and because I was trying to be a real estate agent, going into the classes, but she knew I had a hard time with tests, and so she would literally distract me and force me to do things so that I didn't have enough time to do the homework and study. And then when the next day I would have to go to class and everything. It's like she would even try to dig it in. Did you finish your homework? I finished most of it. I didn't have time, but hopefully I'll be able to be in class early enough so that maybe I can finish it. And she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna finish it. You're not gonna finish anything. You're not gonna be a real estate agent. You're just fooling yourself. You're not gonna be anything. You think you're gonna be? You think you're gonna be one? Oh, and after those documentaries, that didn't scare you. That didn't scare you." But then, oh, my mom, like, yeah, we were brought up in the church, but she hated when I brought up the Bible to her because I was just like, oh, the Bible says do not fear, doesn't it? Don't you bring that Bible to me. Don't you tell me what the scriptures say. Oh, now I'm not supposed to bring it up. It's like, so yeah, when I say I go through seasonal depression, these are the types of things that go through my mind. These are the stories and the things I remember and the things I had to go through. And so that one reason I tell these stories because I know there's other people like there who, if it's not, it doesn't have to be exact, but I know some people have been through this, and it's crazy how because and the blame goes on me too because I knew these men were no good. But I was scared of being single and alone. And a lot of men that I would have liked to date, either they didn't like me because of how I walked, or that I was black, or that, yeah, because, oh my gosh, okay. Well, I want to say something, but then I know people are gonna accuse me of something, but okay, you know what? It's like when you're gonna date someone who you're genuinely interested in, okay? It's like I've been through so much because men only wanted to use me. And I've been used so much to the point where it's like I have to control myself to make sure that I don't have disdain for men. I have to just be like, that's not all men, that's not all men, that's not all of them. There's some hope, and some women find amazing guys, and they're fortunate. It's like I walk odd, and that's why I wasn't able to find a good one because I walk odd. That's my fault. And so it's like I can't control other guys for wanting better women. I can't tell men that I deserve a good guy, even though since I walk differently, maybe I don't. And it's like these are the things that go through my head because that was how I was brought up. That's how I was raised. That's what I was told. And so I ended up with Mr. Lockakey, Mike Lockakey, who literally threatened that he was going to eliminate himself from the earth if I didn't date him, who threatened that he was going to punch holes in the wall, that kept stealing from his jobs, that later on the relationship would keep taking pictures of women that he was cheating on me with. And it's like, yeah, just, I still can't believe he would have the nerve to tell me I was lying, and then I would have to tell him to look at his phone. And then when he would look at his phone, he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And he was like, "I don't remember. I don't." And I was like, "Boy, shut up! You're gonna have the nerve to say you don't remember? You don't remember? Okay, that just shows you need to get tested. That proves you need to get tested ASAP." And I mean, like I said, I have a mountain full of stories on him. It's like, cause I've told the cause the breadstick story, the Olive Garden story, that looking back at that one over the years, I realized men just want to use women. They just want to take advantage because he literally wanted to use my car. He only wanted to go out with me and use my car so that if he got pulled over, I would have to get arrested. That was the only reason. He didn't want a date night. He wanted to be able to point it at me. He put it in the driver's seat, the back of the driver's seat bag thing, because then he was going to say that it was mine and I put it in there. He put me in danger, and he bragged and didn't care because he kept bringing up, yeah, you're black, they're not going to believe you. And at least, like, if once you get arrested, we would be on the same field, and so then I won't have to feel like you're better than me. And I'm like, I've never told you I was better than you. I never told you that it's like I overdo or surpass what you desire to do. I've encouraged, like, do you know how many men out here I've tried to encourage, but then they put me down or they tell me to be quiet, and then they continue being lazy. They put me down while they want to be lazy, good for nothing. Either playing their video games, and there's nothing wrong with 420, but when you're smoking 420 because you have nothing to do in life and because you choose that that's going to be your hobby, 420 shouldn't be a hobby. It shouldn't. And oh yeah, I was gonna give an example that it's like, okay, some people are not gonna like me. I don't even care. I'm Because I still remember in college there was a guy that was Jewish, and he like whenever I would finish a certain class, I think it was no, it wasn't linguistics. That was later. What other class did I have in that building? I think it might have been English 300. But I mean, it doesn't like I know it was from that building whenever I went into the OC on certain days. I think it was a Tuesday, Thursday class or whatever. He would be in the same room, same area, whatever. So I would walk by and he would always like, "You're so beautiful, you're so pretty," blah, all this other stuff. And it's like I know he doesn't fit my parents' quote unquote expectations, but by then I realized I know who they want to date's not going to make me happy. I want to be happy, and if that means I get called what I normally get called of being a disappointment and not being the daughter they want, I'm over it. I'm not the daughter they wanted. I will never be the daughter they wanted, and I have to live up to that. It's like I'm at an age, especially now, where I am fine with that because I'm tired for living for everybody else, especially these men now. So it's like this. He offered to take me to, I believe it was McDonald's. 'Cause I know there's a few fast food places across the street, but I know one of the times it was at the Coney Island down the road. But anyways, like we ended up going out to eat a few times and talking, and I thought he was really interested in me. But I remember, like, cause and this was like an 1.5 semesters. We're talking and chatting, and I mean, I'm not saying we're like official, but it's like he always said how great the conversations with me were, and how he loved spending time. And it's like he never met a woman that was as engaging and stuff or creative and stuff. So I was like, wow, he understands me, he gets me. And a lot of men, especially on these dating apps, they don't. And a lot of guys cannot stand like I was talking earlier, even with anime and documentaries. It's like, I guess I'm gonna, you know what, I might look up, what does the Bible say about anime, and what does the Bible say about sporting events, because part of me just feels like, okay, if you're gonna watch something, if you don't read the Bible on what you watch, mind you, be like, okay, if you don't want to talk about it, say you don't want to talk about it. Okay. Okay. So it's like, yeah, that's a different topic, but oh, it's like that. I can't stand when the Christian man tries to put everything down about the woman, but then you're looking at them and you're just like, you're not perfect either. And then they get mad or they try to give you reasons and just for their actions. It's okay when they do it, but it's not okay when like with whatever you want to do. But I remember there was one time, it was like, because we both had a night class in different buildings. But I remember we were studying, and he took me to the Coney Island place to grab some food or whatever. And but when it was time to go to our classes or whatever, I it's like he was. trying to tell me that he wanted me to do some activities with him, some sexual ones. And I was just like, oh, so are we going to be dating then? And I remember when he said, a black woman? No, he was like, it's like, yeah, you're not worth dating. He was like, you've got the body that's like, I was like, whenever I see it, it's like, he's like, you just make me want to do so many things. But he was like, I need a Jewish woman to marry, but I need a woman like you to play with. And he was like, you've got the type of body that is just worth playing with. And that's not the only time I've heard that. I've heard it a lot. There was even a guy who, I think he was a professor at a school near Flint. I forgot exactly which school, but yeah, he was a professor near one of the schools in Flint. And he kind of did the same thing. He wasn't Jewish, so that's why I'm like, it's not just Jewish guys. But I remember he specifically said that, especially since I wasn't Jewish, I wasn't worth his time, I wasn't worth it, blah blah blah. And part of me was just like, why would you spend so much time with me? Why would you do all these things? Or not, like, okay, I mean, like, going out and, like, even we went to a bookstore, and it's like, so when I say things, I mean activities and things. But it's like, I mean, he kind of hit on me, like, when he flirted or hit on me, I thought he was at least interested. And I was kind of excited because I'm like, it's like he was handsome. And it's like, but nerdy handsome. It's like I didn't know I was a sapiosexual until later in life, but it's like I really was engaged with our conversation. That's what I love the most. And I'm seeing that pattern because even with Tomas, that's why I was like so disheartened when he ghosted me. Because, and like, listen, like, that's a different, like, yeah, I talk about that in several episodes, so catch up. But it was because the conversations, it was some of the best conversations in, like, of my life. And but a lot of men don't like those conversations. They don't like talking to a woman. They just feel like you use a woman, you don't talk to them. And when it comes to beauty, same, like, a lot of these men are like, you're beautiful for me, not for anybody else. You don't dress a certain way. And it's just like, I mean, yeah, there's certain things I won't wear because I don't have the body to wear some of the stuff, but at the same time, if you're willing to date me, you have to accept me. Mr. No Heart, it's like, he loves large chests. He loves them. I can't express how much. I can't. So I realized that was the only reason he liked me, the only reason he was interested in me. Because once we dated, he did not want me to succeed. He begged me to start a business, but once he realized it was succeeding, and then how far I was able to take it in such a short period of time, yeah, his friends were telling him to quit, and he quit within 6 months, even though I paid for everything. He has not paid me a dime back, not a penny back. But then when we broke up, I told him I want my equipment. And then he tried to gaslight me. That's all you care about? You didn't care about when I had to have major surgery. It's like, yeah, it's like I said, a lot of you guys already know the story, but while dating him, like, yeah, when it came to my ideas and my business sense and my creativity, he couldn't stand that. When we would go out, it's like I used to at least try to be pretty, and, like, even to this today, I don't care what I look like. And part of it's because of him and because of my mom too. But yeah, my mom and him partnering up together, they made sure I hated myself. But we would go and get groceries even, and, like, we would be at a Dollar Tree, and I would grab something out. I would be grabbing stuff off the shelf or whatever, and there'd be, like, he'd be in the aisle, and there'd be other guys like, oh, why are you doing this? You're like, let me grab this for you, beautiful. It was like, oh, you're so, like, how are you today? And it's like, they're not, it's like some of them might have been hitting on me, but it's like they literally help me get the materials or whatever, because sometimes I'm grabbing tons of materials for my students for school. And so I'm having to bend and grab things and go through the colors to make sure I have enough colors for each of my students. Because especially with my first graders, I knew who, what, like, I remember I created a chart of all my students, like their favorite colors. And it's like, they're like, even the like sense of touch, it's like, because I did an activity of like prickly and smooth and rough and crinkly, and so I remember having that survey. So sometimes when I go into a store, I'm like, oh, it's like, I'm trying to think of a name that's not in my classroom so no one can look it up, but I'll say Jeffrey. It's like, oh, Jeffrey likes crinkly. It's like, oh, this will be so cool. It's like, oh, he's gonna love this during reading time or break time or whatever. Oh, it's like, oh, this is beautiful. It's red, and it's like, oh, I got a lot of students who are gonna love red. I better grab two because it's like somebody doesn't like to share, and but it's like, so I'm going through this, and I just remember like he could not care less. And so when other guys at the store would see me go, they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And it's like sometimes I'd share because I'm like, you know what? It's like sometimes I might be able to give other people. Like, I'm not saying I have all the ideas in the world, but it's like, even like in public or when I speak to people, and sometimes I tell them things that I do in the classroom, they're just like, you should have conferences. That's amazing. That's so cool. And I've taught a couple teachers of like some of the activities. And right now I am creating children's books based off of some of my ideas. And one of like, I researched a little bit on how to get them onto an educational catalog board and stuff and to be certified or whatever. But I remember there was one teacher who was just like, when you're done, send it to me. I am going to help you get it on that board. So it's like, so I'm literally yesterday, it's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm finally going to do that because there's five of them, which, but it's like, so there's one where I might send it to her to see, like, okay, how many more of these before we get the collection there. But then like yesterday, a lot last night, I was doing research trying to get one of them ready because it's been on my brain for over a year. And I'm just like, you know what? Let's get it done. I still need to create an art board for my illustrator and save up money for the illustrations, but let's just get this daggone thing done. And it's just crazy because I talk a lot about that because other people were engaged and loved, and like we would be able to have conversations about kids and education and the foundation and how important it is to be creative and to like teaching sometimes needs to be entertaining because when kids are in school all day, yeah, it's like they love like Twitter and TikTok and all this other stuff because it's entertaining. And so when it came to my ex, he could care less. I invited him to some of the school activities. He didn't want to go. He refused. And but then when his oldest daughter needed to go to a band concert, yeah, he like sometimes he made me feel bad to the point where automatically it's like, oh, band concert, okay. Even when I'm like, okay, I haven't gotten really any sleep lately, and I need to some grading, and it's like, so I guess I'm gonna grade until 2 o'clock in the morning to wake up at 5 or 5:30 or 6 in the morning to get ready to go back to the school the next day. Like, he didn't care about my well-being. He didn't. He When these guys would talk to me at the Dollar Tree, or it could have been at Aldi's too, because oh, I love Aldi's, but it's like I'm looking up their political stance now, because like, yeah, let's just, I found out some good, but I also found out some bad. So I'm still doing some research, still doing some, I like, because I'm like, in my team all like, it'll break my heart if not, because I'm just like, okay, Aldi, I thought we were cool. I thought we were good, you know? But anyway, when those are like two of the most popular places that we would shop or whatever. So, like, if a guy would come up to me and talk to me, he would get mad, he would ignore me, he would blame me. And I remember even going to the Home Depot. I need to tell that full story soon. But he would, like, if a guy would, like, since since that store has a lot of men, I feel like he did it for dominance and just control and to show that he's an alpha male, even though he's farthest from an like, I don't know, he tried to like act like he was such a manly man, but he's not at all. He just wants the ego and control of one. And that's a lot of men out here. They want, it's like they only do things for their ego They only do things for like the self of power, the image of power, but they don't have any power. And so he would ignore me, and or at the store he would literally hit my behind as hard, like, and I'm not saying not pat, hit. And I like at the Home Depot, he kept like, it was loud enough to where even like I was so mad at him, even at the cashier, I was ignoring him, even because yeah, I had the power then because I was the one paying because he didn't have a penny to his name, and I refused to pay. Like I was in the line, I'm like, are you gonna take care of it? Why are you gonna do? Oh, so you want to keep hitting my behind in the store, embarrassing me whenever there's a man around? That's what that was? Like the cashier was shocked. Oh my God. He was like, sir. And she ended up telling him off too. She helped me, like, and I thank her. If I knew her name, I would be like, I would say it. So I'm like, yeah, whenever you see this woman, give her a hug, give her $1, give it, like, say thank you. Because she had my back. She had my back and I needed that. But yeah, almost any time like a guy would even look our way, smack. And I turn around, I'm like, if you do not stop it, you need to quit. And he just look at me like, I didn't do anything. You should like it. You should like that I'm making sure other men know that you're mine. What did I do wrong? I just do what men do. But when we got on that line, I told him he need to pay for it. Oh, his face. Like he's already white, but he turned even more white. It was like, dang, come on now. It's like Casper, like you look like you're related to Casper the Friendly Ghost right now. So, but yeah, it's like his wallet's dead. His wallet is really dead, but he was looking real dead right then and there. That's all I gotta say. That's all I got to say. So anyway, okay. It's just really annoying when men, all of my life, like being black, being female with a disability, I get judged in every single way. And I thought, like, at least if I had my education, I thought at least if, if I'm genuinely me, I, and I've tried losing weight, it's like, I'm a thickums, I'm a fatty, what I like, but it's like, and a lot of these men, they have the nerve to write me just to try to say that I'm ugly or I'm fat. And it's just like, why don't you use that energy to try to be a good enough man so you won't be single anymore? Yes, this is coming from a single woman, but it's like maybe if you were good enough for a woman so that you don't need to use the app anymore, maybe more men that I like will shine to the point where I'm like, okay. It's like, and maybe I wouldn't need my standards anymore because I post those, like, I created the standards because though the toxic men are normally the Republican MAGA 45 loving men. And they're the men who have been locked up. They're the men who don't have any type of sort of higher education. Like, I'm happy with a trader certification. But, like, the men call me stuck up when a lot of those men, they put me down for my education. They tell me that I wasted my life. And you know what? I won't have, it's like, I'm not going to have natural kids. But part of me's think in a way, I'm like, you know what? Things happen for a reason. God had like allowed this to happen for a reason because He knew Mr. Lockety and Mr. No Heart were no good. They like, if I dated Mr. No Heart and he told me his daughters were mistakes over 8 times. Over 8 times he told me they were mistakes. So if I had a kid with him, he no, you're not, like, if a man ever tried to tell me my child was a mistake, I'm gonna end up on Dateline. I will end up on Dateline or on the news because I'm going to do something petty. You will not call my child a mistake. And having to hear him say it. And I think that's one reason why with the oldest daughter, I did my best to make sure she knew how special she was. Even though after I broke up with him, he turned around and made her hate me. And he lied to her and told her so many awful things about me just to make sure he was the one that looked good at the end of the day. Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.